Hey guys, welcome back to the fifth part of our course. So today we are going to be creating an actual web page or a website, and you're going to be seeing how we can use Bootstrap in creating a real website or web page. So I have a folder on my desktop which has these three subfolders: the Bootstrap framework and a folder of images. I have some 5 images that I will be using, and I also have this index page which you see that I've opened here, but it's still empty. So I've already linked this page to the Bootstrap framework, as you can see here. So link yours also, so you can follow step by step. So please watch the video to the end and don't forget to subscribe. The first thing I'm going to be doing, I'm going to say create a div class container fluid, container fluid. Now inside this I'm going to create a row, so div class row. Now this row is going to have the name of the site and the links. Okay, so I'm going to divide this row into 3 parts, but these parts are not going to be equal. The first ones are going the first columns are going to be 4, then 2, and then 6, okay, to make a total of 12 as we had agreed. So I'm going to say div class column, I'm going to say md4. Okay, now again I'm going to create another one. This is supposed to be div. It's a D here and a D here. Okay, now here I'm going to say div class column md2. So far I've used 6, so I'm remaining with 6. And the others I'm going to say div class column medium, then I'm going to say 6, making a total of 12. So in the first 4 I'm going to create the name of the site. Let me just call it my website. So I'm going to say h3, then I'm going to say my site as the name of the website. Now the middle 2 I'm not going to use them, and I'm going to create links that will help me navigate the whole site in these 6 columns. So here I'm going to make it like a list. So I'm going to say ul, I'm going to say li. So this list item is going to be a link, so I'm going to use a so this will be the anchor tag. So here I'll put hashtag, so this will be home. Okay, let me copy this, so I'll paste this. Okay, so this will be services. This will be about us, and lastly let's make this contact us. Okay, contact us. Now we've made our links, so let's run this and see how it looks like. So I'll come here, then I run it. So this is how the site looks like. Let us first give this row a background. So we are only affecting this row, so in order not to affect other rows that are coming, we are going to use inline CSS. So the row is here, so I'm going to use inline CSS. So I'm going to say style, and now I'm going to give it a background. So I'm going to say background. I'm going to say background. I'm going to use RGB, red, green, blue. Now here the first one I'm going to say 30. Second one I'm going to say 32. This one let's give it 60. Okay, so when we come back here and we refresh, you see now we have a background, but the title here, my site, is not showing, which means it has to be given a color that will enable it to be visible. Okay, so I'll create some internal CSS as a style. Now h3 will be affected from up here, so I'll say h3, then I'll say color. So I want it to be visible. Let me use white smoke. Okay, I've used white smoke. So when you come back here and we refresh, you see that my site is now visible. All right, let's give it, let's give the row white smoke. Okay, let's say color white smoke still. Now this will show you something that I want you to see. So when you see these lists, they have this white dot showing that they are unordered lists. Okay, so we're going to affect this with some CSS. What we are going to do here, this h3 we are going to give it a padding, let's say something like 20 pixels. Okay, padding of 20 pixels. So it comes there. So we come to the lists. So here we say li, then we shall say list style, we say none, list style none. This will help us. So if I refresh, you see that the dots have gone now. So if I come here, then we want them to be in a line format. So I say display, I'll say inline block. This will work for me. So if I refresh, you see that now inline. Now they are compacted together, so I can give them a padding. So I say padding, I'll say 20 pixels. Okay, padding of 20 pixels. If I refresh, you see that now spaced a bit. Can increase on the padding to 25 pixels if you want. You also make it 25 pixels like this. At least this is better. So let us, when you come back here, you see that they are underlined. These links are underlined, so you want to remove that line. So you shall come here then say A, because the anchor tag means that they are the list. So I'll say text decoration, then I'll say none. Okay, after text decoration none, let's refresh and see. Didn't save, so save here, refresh. You see that they have gone. Okay, so let's change the text color of the links to white. So I'll just say color, so this will be white smoke. So if I come back, you see, I refresh here, that they are all white now. Now let's make them bold. This was font weight, bold, font weight, this is bold. Okay, now let us proceed and create the second row. Here we need an image. Let us put an image. So I'm going to come here. This is where this row starts from and ends here. So I'm going to create another row. I'm going to say div class row, and this div class row, I'm not going to put anything, but rather I'm going to use CSS. So here I'm going to say style, I'm going to give it a background image. So I'm going to say background image. Now here it's going to be URL. Now I'm going to put images are in the folder called images, this one. So I'll say images slash, oh sorry, it's here. So I'll say images slash, now there's an image used called bg.jpg. Okay, so if then let me give it a height of 25, let me say 50 pixels. It's not max height, just say height of 50 pixels. No, let's play viewport height. So let's refresh this. Now I have the image, but you can see the image has repeated itself here, so we should put it as no repeat. So here I can say background repeat, then I say no repeat, so it won't be repeating itself. I save here, then I come, I refresh. You see now it's not repeating itself here, so it's a white space. Now I have to make sure that it completes, so I'll say background size, so it's going to be cover. Background size, I'm going to use cover. So here I refresh, so you see now it's completing. Now let me increase on this, on the height, let it be 70, let it be 70 VH. So I come back here and then I refresh. You see now it has covered a wider space. Now let me say background position,
line name,
background position, going to say center, background position center. So I come back here and then I refresh. You see now the image is looking like this. Now this is a very good beginning when you're creating your site. So this is one of the best ways when you're creating your site you start with. Now next, let's create a row below. Now come here, then I say div class row. So one thing you have to notice that you can create as many rows as you want. Now in this row I'm going to divide it into 3 parts, okay, and we're going to just put dummy text. So I'm going to say div class column md4. Now I'm going to copy this, so I'm going to put them like paragraphs. So I'll put some lorem. Let me put two paragraphs each. So let me copy this. I'm going to paste it here, and I also paste it here. So let's check this out. Refresh. Now you see I have this down here. Now one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to give it some CSS to work on that. So I'll come here, then I say paragraph. I'll give it a padding of 20 pixels. So all the paragraphs are going to have that padding of 20 pixels. Now you see how they look like. Now I'm going to justify that content. So I'm going to say text align justify. Okay, now they will be looking better. The work is now justified. You see now all the paragraphs are looking good. So let me make another row down here. So I'm going to say, let's see, so let me say div class row. Now this div class row, I'm going to divide this into 2, but these spaces are not going to be equal. So at first I'm going to say 4, then 8. Okay, I'm going to say div class column md4. Okay, here I'll be putting an image. Then here let me say div class column md8 to make a total of 12. So here I'll be putting text. So I'll put paragraphs, slow rem. So you can be putting your own text according to how you want to. I'm just showing you how you can create a layout for your website. So this could be one of the ways you would like to follow. So down here, this is how it's looking like. Then you can also give it a background. You can give this row a background. So I can come here, I say style, background, then I say lavender. Okay, and say something like lavender. So this row is having this background. Now I also put in this first file, I put an image. Which image should we use here? Let me see. Let's check here. I think let's use the UNICEF sign. So I come here, then I say img. So image source, it's going to be in the folder called images slash, it's called UNICEF. It's called UNICEF with capital U NICEF .jpeg. Yeah, that's it. Then I can say alt, say UNICEF. Let me say UNICEF. Okay, let's check this out. Refresh here. You see the UNICEF image. So we can work on this with some CSS, this image here, or we can do it up here. Let's try it here. So I say img. So we say image, sorry, let me say some width. Width, let's say, let me just give it a margin. say 20 pixels auto. That will help us put it in the center. What else? Give it, let's check this out. So it has moved a bit. Let's give it a margin left. Margin left of something like 50 pixels. So it has come a bit in the middle. So that's how you can deal with images a bit. So this has come. Let's try give it some width. With, let's say, something like 60%. It should cover 60%. Okay, at least that's better. Okay, now that row, we need to create another row below that. I think should be the last row. Then we create a footer. So this row ends somewhere here. So let's create another row. Div class row, and this one we are going to put images. Okay, I'm going to put images, and they are going to be moving. Now let me say img. Let us first take the 12. Let's say div class column md12. Now this is where we're going to put the images img. Let me first give them a class, div class images. So I can put images here, img. Let me copy this here. So this is UNICEF. Put another one. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be something like Acodev, JPEG. Then this will be Faith, JPEG. Also have impact water. So let's check this out. So below this we have something. So let us affect them with CSS. I'll say here class images. Then I'm dealing with the image inside class images. So their height should be, let's say, something like 200 pixels. Let's check that out. Then their width should be 200 pixels too. Let's check this out. So this is how they look like. Okay, at least this is balancing. Let's make it 300 and we see. Okay, it's a bit big. Let's go back to 200. So 200 would be best. So we refresh. Now we want to make them start moving. So let's just put a mark you. Come here and say mark you. Then I just close the mark you here. So let's refresh it here. See that they are now moving. Okay, they are moving from the right to the left, which is which is a bit eye-catching. Now we have created a simple web page that can help you balance your work. Now the next thing we can create is the footer, and one thing you have to notice that you can create a footer in the same color that you created the header. Okay, so let's come down and then create a row that's going to help us create the footer. So I'll come here, then I'll say div class row. Okay, now here inside this row, we are going to create 3 divisions. Okay, now we're going to say div class column, say md 4. Let's create 4 equal. Okay, now here I can say div class model header. Okay, I say class model header. Now this model header, let's say contacts h3. Let me say contacts. Then I have model body. Now here I can put something in a paragraph. Now this can be your content when you've created this. So let's check this out and see. So let's check. Now this is our footer, but let's give it a background. Let's give the row a background so that things look well. So we come back here to the row. So I'll say style, I'll give it background. I'll say RGB. So I'll say 30, then 32, then I'll say 60. Okay, let me put a semicolon here. Let me check this out again. So this is my footer, but the text is not showing very well. So let's say color here, let's say white smoke, so that our text should be white and we can see it. Let me refresh. So you see here, you can see my text. So you still have this other side. So besides contacts, so we can copy this up to here, then we paste it in these other two. So here I put here, then even here I put this here. So if I come back here and check, refresh, you see that my footer is here now. Now this, I can just change the titles of contacts. Let's say address. This is address. Let's say what could this be? Let's say something like partners. Okay, partners. You can put it as anything according to what you're building, but this can be a sample of your footer. This can work for you as a footer. Then you can end it with something down here. I can create another row within this very row. So this row, let's see, this row starts from here and ends down here. So before this, I can create another row. Oh yeah, let's try this. Let me see, div class row. Now div class row, let's say div class column md 12. Let's say column md2. Then copy v, then v. So this one we put it as 10. this is 4, so let's make this 8 to make a total of 12. Now in these middle ones I can say h5, can say my site, let's say ampersand copy, let's say 2024. So let's check this out, refresh, come down here, you see it's here. Now let me try to put the h5 in the middle. So I say h5, text align, center, and I'll give it a padding, of 10 pixels. So we see this. So that's my footer. This is how my footer looks like. I can change the color of the h5 to something like color. I can say something like lime. Okay, make it a bit eye-catching. Even these h3s that are in the model header. So I can come here, then I say class model header, class model header h3. So I can say color, then I can say lime. I refresh. Now you see they are all lime. I can even put them in the center, text align, center, but I don't think it will work because they are in the model header. But anyways, as long as this has come out well. So let me end this here. So I've shown you how we can create a simple layout for a website. You start with the links and the title of the site. You can beautify them more than this. Then you can create, this can be a video instead of an image. It can be a video or something that is eye-catching, that can attract the viewer to continue watching. Now here you can put something like the mission, the vision, and so on for this text. Then you can put an image being explained on the other side, or even more. Then you can put something like this, or more images or videos, according to how you plan your site to be. Then you can end up with a footer, a very good footer that can be having details of most of the things that you need in your site. Otherwise, thank you for watching the video. Hope to see you into more. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Technical Alphas. Shalom.